It's pizza time, bringing you another one of my favorite seasonal combos. I don't know where you guys are at, but it's feeling full summer vibes here in Santa Barbara, even though it's not official. But I know I got that vibe going because I'm seeing corn popping up, some super fresh, good corn that it's time to bust out the corn pie. You know, I don't know when I started making corn pizzas, but they're one of my favorites. My dad loves corn, so I was like, I need to figure out a way to get it on a pizza. But pretty much all the iterations of it come out really good. I'm going with the classic though, corn and mushrooms along with some bacon. That corn and mushroom combo, I feel like that's a timeless one. If you got some oyster mushrooms or shiitakes, those are really good. We're just using some of the creminis today that I roasted up. But yeah, more importantly, the corn. You want to use the super bomb, heady, dank, as fresh as you can find. I like to roast it, get some char on the corn. You can roast it directly in the oven. Just make sure you take the husk off. It'll catch fire in there. But yeah, you can just put it right on the deck or even in a pan. Then I just take it right off the cob with a knife, trying to get bigger chunks. I think that looks pretty rad when you get the fat chunks on the pizza. Got that along with the mushrooms, like I mentioned. These guys are just simply roasted off. I got bacon in the mix on this one, and I like, if you've seen me before, I like to cook that a little bit. And so that rendered bacon fat, I use it to just pan roast the mushrooms. Super simple, just seasoned with salt and pepper. The bacon, you can see I like using that a lot. I feel it's like a great pizza pantry staple. It sits well in the freezer. Bust out a couple slices. It's a just flavor bomb. You know, if you're vegetarian, leave it out. It's still gonna be good. Another seasonal favorite here, torpedo onions. These came in our farm box this week and they're super bomb, like fresh little small onions. I just diced them up. Along with that, I'm going with the fresh mozz, some garlic, and also some parm. I went with the coarse grate on this. I like that style. I learned that one, Chris Bianco, Pizzeria Bianco out in Arizona. For his Rosa, he does that. That's like one of the tricks. Is like the fatty, coarse. I think that'll be pretty nice on there. This should be packed with flavor. Umami with the mushrooms, the parm, bacon is gonna be bomb. All going on sourdough. Today, you know, just a little into what's going on with my dough right now. I've been trying a bunch of different blends, just kind of playing with the oven a little bit to see how, you know, kind of what I like and how it's gonna bake in here. Traditionally, I like, you know, my style, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like artisan. I mean, I don't know really what that means, but that's what's thrown around. I feel like that means you're paying attention to, you know, every part of the process. That's what I believe Dan Richer out in New Jersey had to say on it. But, you know, it's like, so my dough, it's not, I wouldn't say traditional. Today, it's a blend of 50-50 of bread flour and Caputo, 00. It's the red bag. That's just what I had on hand. I'd actually prefer to use the pizzeria flour for this, but that's just what I had. Along with kind of a significant amount of T85. If you're not familiar with that, that's a whole wheat. It's the 85, that's the ash content, so it's 0.85%. You know, full whole wheat is a much higher one like that, so you're gonna get more, the ash is, you know, what that grain and stuff you see in there, which can be problematic in pizza dough because it can tear, but that T85, that's really nice. I got that in the mix and some rye. That said, you know, with this, I like to bake it a little bit longer. I feel like if you're cranking the oven Neapolitan style, these flours will burn. And you know, some of my favorite pizzerias, they do kind of more a blended thing like this where it's like it bakes a little longer in the oven. I want it to be crispy, chewy. You know, that's just kind of my jam. But do it however you want. But that's the blend I got going today. I'm gonna get this thing stretched. We'll get it on the marble, build it. I'm pumped on this one. A summer pie, one of the first corn ones of the season. Let's get this thing going. It's pizza time. I'm showing you one of my favorite summer combos, a mushroom and corn pizza. Let's get this thing built, starting with a base of garlic. If you watch some of my other videos, I always like to put the garlic on the bottom to make sure it doesn't burn. And I like to go fatty on the garlic. You know, this is 1 clove I'm doing for a pizza, but if your fam is a little garlic shy, you know, put however as much you want. I'm gonna go, like I said, with that coarse grated parm. This is the legit OG, the Parm Reggiano, my favorite. I like that coarse grate on a pizza like this. You really get the full flavor of it. That's a Chris Bianco trick that I learned that he does on his Rosa pizza. One of the best pizzas in the world, I'd say. All right, get this thing going. Let's go next with the mushrooms. These are just some pan roasted mushrooms I cooked down in some bacon fat. and just season, just, you know, with a little bit of salt and pepper, real simple, keep the flavors really bright. All right, looking pretty good. Don't want to go too heavy on it because I feel like this one, really the star of the show on this is going to be the corn. Got that going. The torpedo onions, another, you know, spring into summer produce that's really bomb. You know, this is another one. We like onions in our house. I'm going pretty fat on it, but do as you like. All right, let's hit it now with important, the corn. I like to go fat on this. Like I said, if you can keep the chunks on the bigger side, I feel like that's a fun look. That's looking pretty good. Oh, importantly, let's, you know, maybe I would have done the mozz earlier, but I'm like so fired up on that corn, I just spaced out. But we can just piece this in here. You know, you want to put the mozz towards the bottom though. If the reason you do that is so you're all these fatty toppings that you spent some time on putting together, or that the farmers grew, that's super bomb. You want to really be able to see those. So if you cover it with the cheese, it gets lost sometimes. So I like putting it on the top, or excuse me, cheese on the bottom, toppings on the top. All right, looking pretty good. And then let's hit it with more corn. So we know what we're eating here. That's looking pretty good. A little bit more out to the edge. Like I've said in other videos, you want the toppings, start on the outside and work your way in. The center is your weakest link, so you want to make sure it's not weighed down too heavy there. Now with the bacon, this is par cooked. Go as generous as you like. You know, this is about one strip, I'd say. And like I said, I roasted the mushrooms in the bacon fat. Now hitting it with some chives. This is all going on the sourdough. This is a 320 gram dough ball. We're shooting, you know, maybe get this one stretch a little more on the peel, maybe 14, 15 inches. Looking pretty good. Always hit it with some salt and pepper. I might give this thing a little drizz of the olive oil. And this is looking good to me. Gonna get this thing off the marble into the oven. We'll watch it bake and give this thing a taste. Summer vibes, looking good to me. All right, getting this thing off the marble, one final stretch. Had a mushroom fall off there. You know, this is your one last chance to fix any toppings. Let's kind of just stretch it oversized. I'm not really care too much if it's perfectly round, but you know, I don't mind if it is. Let's get it into the oven. All right, get the timer started here. All right, baking it up. So one important thing too that I've learned for these longer bakes is I heat it up. I've been liking going really hot to heat the oven, but right before you're about to launch it, turning it down actually past where it clicks, turning clockwise, you can actually dial it down even a lower flame here like that. It's looking pretty good. You're looking almost 30 seconds going in for the first turn. Looking pretty good. You want to make sure that you don't come in, like maybe that was a little close on, you know, hitting a fresh spot of the deck of the oven, because that's how you can easily burn it, because that thing is really hot. So I'm just kind of working it in the same spot I was. I'm almost up to a minute here. You know, I want to see it fully brown, a crispy bottom. We're shooting maybe for a 3-4 minute bake on this one. I'm gonna actually even tinker this down a little bit even more. So it's like after that click spot, a commenter on one of my YouTube videos, thank you so much, told me about that. And it's really a game changer for like the thin and crispy side, because you can get that really, you can get the flame down really low. I'm liking how the bakes are coming out for the little bit longer style. Up to a minute 20. Gonna go even just turn this down even more, let it finish off because it looks like it's browning up. We don't want a burnt pizza. You know, some pretty good leoparding going there. I love those little micro bubbles, especially when they're not fully roasted into oblivion. Some bigger ones over here. You know, the only thing I've seen with this like style of like turning it down like that is you'll end up with one side that you're having better leoparding than the other because you're turning that oven down. But you know, it still tastes really good. That's the most important thing. The worst is just a burnt pizza, I think, or undercooked. Personally, I can't stand a doughy pie, so I'd rather go on the crispy side. We're up to almost 2 minutes. This thing's baking up pretty nice. You know, it's looking a little bit light colored over there, so I'm gonna let this thing go longer. Get this all the way down. We're up to 230 now. Get this thing turning. You know, maybe a little bit dark there, but looking pretty good. Oh, bottom, yeah, nice, like spotting on there. A little, I like that little splotched look. That's looking pretty good to me. This thing might be pretty close. Seeing, you know, that just looks pretty light to me. One side looks better than the other. Get it going. You know, maybe because I turned the oven down a little bit too much. I'd be hesitant to turn it up now though, because it'd probably just fry it. But up to about 3 minutes, like I was saying, that 3 to 4 minute range is what I'm looking for. Oh, I'm seeing a little bit too dark here maybe, so just get this thing out of here in a sec. Yeah, that's looking good to me. All right, I'm just gonna turn the oven off now. It's the last pie of the day. Just let that gas burn out as the pie finishes. After that, crank it off, make sure all that gas is out. Turn this thing. All right, it's go time. 3:30 on this one. Pulling it out. The firemost corn, bacon, and mushroom. Bake looks pretty good to me with some browning, a variety of leoparding. Variety, that's what we like in life. Putting it here. I always rest on the rack 20 seconds, more like a minute though. Let that crust set. You don't want to pull it up and all your stuff just to glop. I like that crispy bottom. Let it sit. We're gonna finish this with, I did a little chiffonata, some basil, that. Maybe a little more chives. Brighten it up with the freshies. Drizzle olive oil, salt and pepper. Slice it up. We'll give this thing a taste. It's looking bomb. It's looking pretty good with like the first of the summer corn pizza, a corn and mushroom pizza, that classic combo, all baked up on sourdough, looking really good to me. I went for that more thin and crispy bake. It was close to 4 minutes when I pulled it out of there. You know, and that's what I'm saying. I turned that dial clockwise past the click. You can get that in that lower temperature there to finish your pies off if you're going for like that kind of style. The crispy, crunchy, chewy. I'm liking the looks of it. The bake looks really nice. Some leoparding here. Got it on the base of just the natty dough, topped with the garlic, fresh corn that I roasted off, so it's a little blackened, a little toasty like that, along with the mushrooms, bacon, chives. I finished it off with even more more chives, and also some fresh basil. The fresh basil in the mix there with corn and mushrooms, always super bomb. Got the bacon on there. What else we got? I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. Salt and pepper, of course, always season your pie. Let's get the show on the road and taste this thing. That's the best part. I gotta go for this one. This slice looks good. Look at that leoparding on there. Let's pick it up. You know, this could have been stretched thinner. This is thicker than I usually like, but you know, it's a hearty pie. I'll take it. Looks pretty good. It's almost like, you know, some sort of like New York Neapolitan cross type deal. I don't know. As long as it tastes good. Sourdough, bomb, freshy, heady toppings. Let's give it a taste. Looking so good. Oh yeah, this pizza spits hot summer. I'm digging it. You know what? The only thing I would do for this one is, if you got it, throw some sort of chili on there. To, like, if you're into that spicy thing, that's one of my favorites to do too. That's the only maybe change I have on it. But the dough tastes really nice. Maybe a little thick on the stretch, but I'm really enjoying this. The flavor is really there. And look at that, the bottom crispy. You can hold it up. I'm digging it. Man, super fresh. I just can't wait for summer. You'll see corn on more pizzas as the time goes on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll throw the recipe up on my blog. Got much more stuff on the way. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. SantaBarbaraBaker.com as well, where I got the recipes, and Santa Barbara Baker on Instagram. Love you all. One love. Keep eating pizza, enjoying pizza, living pizza, the pizza lifestyle. One love.